My name is Kent Wisner. I'm a Taxander from the United States, based in San Francisco. And it's my honor to lead this panel on managing risk in uncertain times. As we've heard in the first presentation, increasing revenue needs by governments are leading to changes in the tax world. We are going to try to categorize those changes as they relate to tax risk. And risk of authority to challenge by tax authorities, it really divides into two things. One is a change in the rules, and the other is a change in the enforcement of existing rules. And then we're going to talk about how those risks are then quantified and controlled by clients and how advisors help them do that. We're going to focus on holding companies because they isolate many of the risks that need to be controlled. There are a lot of holding company structures out there. They were created under a set of rules where people were confident that they worked, but they are under increasing scrutiny, as we've discussed. Generally, a holding company was formed to do one of three things. It was either going to get a capital gains exemption for the disposition of shares held by the holding company. Many domestic tax systems, our host country of Spain being one of them, attempt to impose capital gains on the disposition of shares in Spanish companies, even when those shares are held by non-residents. The other aspect of holding companies that are important is they often give withholding tax relief through treaty relationships between the holding company and the subsidiary company. And they're also used to move the tax base, to erode the tax base of subsidiary companies and bring them either to the holding company or to shareholders of the holding company. Just to bring this all to the question and answer period, there are substance requirements. We don't have any cookie cutter approach. Beneficial ownership, we've got an evolving landscape, but some ways of dealing with that. Increasing restrictions on thin cap and earnings stripping, but that's more of a becoming a computational exercise that has still some variables to be worked in. Anytime you're going to have in a business restructuring a drop in the profit levels of the future business, it has to be sustained by real business changes. And all of these things fit into a generally changing control environment. The biggest takeaways for us are you can't solve these issues one country at a time. You have to solve them as a multi-jurisdictional, multi-variable problem. And you can't solve these problems as tax problems. These are business problems, and they have to dovetail with where the business wants to go. Tax is the tail, the business is the dog. You need to make sure that tax is following along where it should in its proper context.